everyone, I'm Pat, Returner Candle Company. Welcome back to my studio. It's been a little bit since I've made a video. I've been busy trying to get my shop open to the public, which I haven't yet. I may do a video pretty quickly that'll kind of show you my progress. I'm going to shoot for probably the first Saturday in April, which is coming up pretty quickly because I think today is March 23rd. So, but I do have a few people watching some of my videos, and there's some really smart people, and one viewer was very nice, and she let me know that I wasn't really figuring my fragrance oil correctly. And I sort of always knew in the back of my mind that I wasn't. And she suggested I watch, I think it's Erica on Memory Box Candle Co. And I told her I thought I had seen that before, but I'm not really sure. Either it came up and I just kind of blanked out, because I really do not like math at all. Never was really good at it. I struggled, but anyway, I still struggle. So I did watch her video and I made notes. I wrote it down, and as I was watching, I was like, oh, okay, a light bulb came on, because I realized you figure it the very same way you figure sales tax. So I've been to craft shows before, and probably like a lot of you guys, you didn't want to worry with change. So instead of charging $5 plus 6 or 7% tax, whatever the percentage might be in your state, you just charge the $5. But of course you've got to try to figure out how much you need to send to the state. So I realized that those two are the very same thing. So what this video does is I first show how to do the sales tax, because that's what I'm familiar with. And then I translate it over to wax and fragrance oil. And then I go a step further and show if it's like not an even amount, like 100 ounces or 10 ounces or something like that. To me, I just need to kind of get it straight in my head. So I think I figured it out good, and I'm sure somebody will let me know if not. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please give comments if I'm doing it correctly or if I need some more help. It's a learning experience for me, and I got a long ways to go. So I hope you enjoy it. And if you do, please give my video a thumbs up and subscribe. I appreciate everybody that is watching my videos. It's a snail's pace, but hey, you got to start somewhere. So thanks so much. So if we figure out how to do sales tax, let's say we have $100 in sales and our tax rate is 7%. The lazy way to do it would be to say 100 times 7%, and we've got $7 we're going to send in. But that's not correct. And now down below, I want to show you the correct way to do it, the best I understand. And I have done this before. So our $100 in sales and then our 7% tax rate, you add those together and you get 107%. Okay, and then you take that total in sales, $100, and divide it by 107%, and you get 93.46. And that's actually how much you made minus the sales tax. So to figure out how much you need to remit to the state, you subtract 93.46 from 100, and you get $6.54. So if you had submitted the $7, then you would have submitted 46 cents too much, and it would have actually inflated, looked like you made $100 to report to the IRS whenever you do your taxes the next year or whatever, versus $93.46. So that is a losing proposition there. So now what I'm going to do is show you if I have 100 ounces of wax and 7% fragrance oil, and we're going to do this the same way. Okay, now I'm using the very same figures. I'm just punching in the wax and fragrance oil instead of sales and sales tax rate. So again, we need 100 ounces of wax. Of course, this is going to make quite a few wax melts or whatever I'm doing at a 7% fragrance oil rate. So the way I have been doing it, which is the wrong way, and I always knew it was not correct, but it's not an exact science, okay? But anyway, I would say 100 times 7% and come up with 7 ounces of fragrance oil. So, of course, that is not completely accurate. But again, like I say, this is not an accurate science. You need to try to be as accurate as possible. So, anyway, here's the correct way to do it. You've got 100 ounces of wax at 7% fragrance oil. So, again, you add instead of multiply, which to me, multiplication always just comes up first. It's just the way I've always thought about doing things. But you add those two together, and again, you get the 107%, and you have to use the percent sign. So 100 ounces is what we're going to use, and you divide that by 107%, and you get 93.46 ounces of wax that you need to put in there to melt, not 100 ounces, 93.46. So the rest that's left over is going to be your percentage of fragrance oil. So you subtract 100 ounces minus the 93.46, and you get 6.54 ounces of fragrance oil. So doing it the other way, the 7 ounces minus 6.54, and I would have been using 0.46 ounces too much fragrance oil. So it might not make a huge difference in a lot of things, but then again, it may. And of course, this would be a larger amount than, let's say, if I was only doing 10 ounces at 7%. That would probably only be 0.4 or 0.5. So the bigger amount, of course, the bigger difference it's going to make. So this is pretty straightforward because I'm using 100 ounces. So I'm going to do one more because to me it was a little confusing too. And I'm going to use a different amount. Okay, so this I'm using a smaller amount of total fill weight is 8 ounces. So this is like I'm just doing an 8-ounce candle, and I'm using a 6% fragrance oil. So ordinarily what I would do, which is the wrong way, I would say 8 ounces times 6%, and of course that comes out to be 0.48. So that's wrong, and my scales sometimes are not that accurate. So if I get 0.5, I'm pretty happy about that. And again, a lot of fragrance wax will say that you can use 6 to 8%, 6 to 10% or something like that. So I'm not really that concerned about it unless it was an outrageous amount, large amount. But the correct way to do that is, and this I have to remember because the 8 ounces does not look like 10, doesn't look like 100. It looks different. So my first inclination was to add 8 and 6 and come up with, what, 22 or, no, 14. I did another one. I did 16 and got up with that, 22. But, of course, that's not it. You always use the 100%. The number of ounces will always be 100% because that is how much. 100% is 8 ounces plus the fragrance oil. So that would be 100% plus 6% equals 106%. So now we're going to take that 8 ounces. We go back to the 8 ounces now and divide that by 106%, and you get 7.55 ounces. And that's how much wax I need to melt, not the 8 ounces, unless I want some left over, and then I just need to figure it the other way, and this is the correct way to do it. So 8 ounces minus 755, that shows that I need 0.45 of fragrance oil. Again, it's a small amount. It's only a 0.3 difference there. So it wouldn't make much of a difference, and a lot of times I round up anyway. But again, if you're making a lot at one time, then it could make a big difference. So I hope this helps. This is just... like I say, it's trying to help me to get it in my mind to do it the correct way, and I intend to do it this way from now on. It might not make much of a difference, but it might. I need all the help I can get. Okay, guys, that's it for this short video. I do hope you get something out of it, and probably all the rest of you know exactly how to do it, and I'm tickled to death if you do. So, like I say, I'm just a learning, and I do want to say this, that Erica did say that when you add in color and maybe your UV inhibitor, stuff like that, you really don't need to concern yourself about adding that little bit to it. It will not make that much difference in the volume. So I did want to say that also. There may be other stuff, but anyway, my progress is, I'm continuing the best I can, but I've come up with an idea. I did order a candle from Black Tie Barn, and it was a really wonderful candle, and I've kind of set that as my standard. That's why I have tested a lot of candles, and I've used different vessels than this. This is what he uses. It's a straight-sided jar, not that different than the ones I use, but it has like the lip, or whatever you want to call it, is different than mine. So what I'm going to do, I've cleaned this jar out, and I'm going to try my 6006 wax and see if I can find the correct wick with it. Maybe it makes a difference about it being a little bit closed in here instead of the jelly jar that I was trying, or the Libby jar. But the Libby jar is bigger than this, so I'm mainly I'm kind of like comparing it to the jelly jar is what I'm thinking. And I know he has used 6006, and he also uses I think Pro Blend 600, I think, and I'm not really sure. He probably uses a lot of other stuff, but I did watch his video yesterday, so I'm going to try to come up with the correct wick for that. And if not, I'm going to start making my own blends, because I do want a candle, but it's got to be right. I'm not going to sell it unless I'm really proud and pleased with it. So that's my next goal, is try to figure this one out, and I'll definitely record it. Thanks so much. See you next time. So this is his jar, the straight-sided jar, and this is the ball jelly jar. I think it's 8 ounces. But as you can see, it's taller, and I've always heard that when they're taller, they're a little bit harder to wick. And even though the outside is the same, this is more open, where this, it kind of comes out and it makes it a little bit more closed. I don't really know if that makes a difference, but there's got to be a reason why I cannot get that candle, cannot get a candle wicked in this. And of course, this is my Libby jar, which is totally different than that. I mean, you can fit that one inside of it. So I have not come up with a wick for either one. So, yeah, I don't really know what the secret's going to be, but we're going to give it a try. Thanks.